Years ago, as a really small child, I always grew my plants naturally with home remedies and tonics and things that we had right at the house. Cow manure, Epsom salts, and things like that. And then as time progressed on, and my plants were just absolutely incredible and got a lot of response from all the different plant societies and different newspapers, because I was able to take my plants with the Garden Rebel Tonics to a whole other level. So much so that when certain varieties were fed with the Garden Rebel Tonics, experts actually thought they were a different cultivar. That's a different cultivated variety. They didn't think it was the exact same species. It was a little bit different. No, it was the same species, but that's the way it was supposed to look when it was grown with optimum health. All these decades have gone by now, and now a lot of the radio and TV experts have come along with the Garden Rebel style thinking, and now, oh, the organics aren't so bad now. You know, years ago it was like, oh, you know, that's just not going to work. We're just going to do this. But times have changed, because I knew it worked as a child because I did it, and it still works today. And by the way, before me, the Pilgrims knew what they were doing with their tonics growing, and they learned it from the Indians, and they grew some pretty healthy corn. Now, look at this. When you go to the garden center these days, you can find plenty of natural motions, potions, and lotions in your local hardware store and in your garden center. It's fantastic. Years ago, you couldn't find hardly anything. And so now there is liquid pure soap that we use. There's also insecticidal soaps that are incredibly wonderful and very, very popular. This is something great that I just love. It's called Mosquito Bits. It's all natural and it kills mosquitoes. So you put this into anywhere there's water, if there's a fountain or something like that. It doesn't hurt anything. It's not going to kill anything, and it will naturally kill the mosquitoes. In addition to that, here is one of my favorite things that I used as a 9-year-old kid. It's fish emulsion. And still to this day, not enough gardeners are using it. It's a 5-1-1 formula. That's high in nitrogen. This is what I won all the awards with of my ferns as a child and teenager. Now, to kill bugs, there's hot pepper wax. This is a wonderful bug repellent for a variety of all kinds of soft-bodied insects. And of course, beer. We use a lot of beer on the lawn, and that's in many of the Garden Rebel tonics and in the recipe packs. There's lemon-scented ammonia, again, a nitrogen source. To kill bugs, there's all-natural diatomaceous earth. This is agricultural grade. Diatomaceous earth you may know as a form of pool powder. Well, there's an agricultural grade, and you sprinkle it in the area where the bugs are. They crawl along, and it's like walking on broken glass. They get all the cuts in the exoskeleton. Normal functions can't take place. They die. Next, there's spinosad. A lot of you are not familiar with this. It's all natural. It's in the garden centers now. It kills caterpillars. It kills aphids and dozens of other bugs as well. Also, we have the liquid bone meal. I often use this, but I'm also using the powdered bone meal as well. If I use the powdered, which I do on my roses, I wear a little painter's mask because it's very, very dusty. This has a hookup for the hose. It's its own hose-end sprayer. So for anything flowering, your roses, your plumbagos, your azaleas, your camellias, your rhododendrons, your spireas, anything flowering, your amaryllis lilies, this is wonderful as a special treat to get it to bloom. I'm also using lots of this murate of potash for feeding and magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salts. I've been using that, and gardeners have been using that for hundreds of years. In addition to that, there's plenty of all-natural organic fertilizers as well out there in the market. Now, you're going to have to shop for them. When you walk into the garden center, there's not necessarily going to be a great big display right in the middle of the hallway. So you ask, you educate yourself, and you find out what your local place has, and support them for carrying all these wonderful things that we can apply safely in the right manner to help improve and green our yard, and ultimately help green the world. I'm the Garden Rebel, Robert Vincent Sims.